Yeah. Welcome to Weddings Uncensored, where we drink and talk and talk and drink. I am Kyle.
I am Allie, and we are here breaking down the good, the bad, and the downright crazy of this whole wedding industry. Cheers. Clink. Clink. Happy Tuesday. We're back after a couple of weeks.
Yes. Needed a break.
It's been, a little inconsistent this whole summer to our dear listeners and followers.
Yeah, but we've been busy. That's a good issue.
It is a good issue, but we were super consistent with our recording and our publishing, and so we're getting back into it.
Yes.
So we've recommitted ourselves to our gorgeous fans.
See you next Tuesday.
I just think life gets in the way.
Work gets busy.
Vacation, you moved.
I did move. Oh, yeah, it's a new set. I think the last time we recorded in this little corner with a white backdrop, and there was nothing going on.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be back.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk, we kind of have a little bit of a stream of consciousness talk today, but because it's really fresh in our brains, we had a really cool, interesting, different experience last night.
Yep.
We had a wedding. It was actually a vow renewal, which actually that was my first vow renewal in general that I think that I've ever done.
Actually.
But we got to work with this incredible program called Wish Upon a Wedding, which essentially is a nonprofit organization that's been around for about 14 years, and they plan weddings and vow renewals for folks that are facing life-threatening illnesses, terminal illnesses. So I got asked to be a part of this event for this couple, Jen and Justin. They reached out only about 2 months ago. So we pulled this whole thing together pretty darn quickly.
You did a good job.
Thank you. Jen and Justin have been married now for 30 years. Yesterday was their actual 30th wedding anniversary.
Which was pretty cool. The fact that it was the actual 30th.
Yeah.
Not just it's in a couple
the
days.
30th, yeah. August 7th, 1993, I guess, which is crazy to think that was 30 years ago. It makes me feel old.
I was 1.
I was 4, 5. Oh, I'm a lot older than you. I'm a lot older than you. I don't know. The fact that you can be married for 30 years and the fucking, we'll get into all the details, but the fucking love between them is so palpable and intense. And there's a lot of reasons yesterday was so emotional, but I just was literally fuck, I don't think I could ever love someone that much for so long.
Dude, well, there were so many moments where I was getting choked up just seeing how they interacted with each other too. It was a very not typical Shore and Wave pop the champagne couple. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Typically, it's I don't know, our crazy ass selves,
hype.
But it's a couple.
Yeah.
But this time it was still a crazy couple, but definitely more on the sentimental side of appreciating.
It was
life.
A little somber, which is not our normal vibe, which I think was maybe a little hard, if we're being honest, for both of us to adjust to. But taking a step back. So Wish Upon a Wedding reached out. They said there's this awesome deserving couple that has applied. All they want is a vow renewal. Jen has been fighting breast cancer for years and years and years. She's been through 20 rounds of radiation and chemo and all this crazy stuff.
That's insane.
The cancer is now metastasized to her bones, and it's not, great for her. She's she's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
She's not well, although if you saw her, she's fucking stunningly gorgeous and looks amazing. Yeah. But
her hair was so sick.
Oh my God. She has this rainbow hair. She's covered in tattoos.
Yep.
In a way, she's very much my vibe. The couple actually met at a rave 30 years ago, which I think is fucking so cool and also on brand. They were they were together dating for what did he say, 3 months or something before he proposed.
Yeah. It was
really cool love story.
Yeah.
They have 3 beautiful daughters, stunningly beautiful. I was how are these girls so
They're
gorgeous?
all models. Yeah.
Models.
All of them.
And she had told, me and some of my Pop the Champagne girls that her goal with this was just to create as many happy memories for her family as she could while she's still around, which I think is so cool. So she's a real badass cancer survivor that I know she was in pain. I know she was sick. She hadn't eaten in days. Her doctor actually advised her to go to the emergency room yesterday, and she said, no, I'm going to go and have this party. I mean, makes me all teary just thinking about it. So yeah, it was a really interesting experience. And then the program is really cool. Everybody donates their time and services. So we had awesome vendors on board.
They don't think they had to really pay for anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
Venue, catering,
Literally
photo, video,
everything.
planning.
And
there was a 360 booth.
We had live music, 360 photo
florals,
booth. Yeah.
Signage, like the dress,
everything,
the tux.
rentals. Yeah. So we'll actually list like all of the sponsors that were on board and like more information about Wish Upon a Wedding if you guys want to learn more about it. Yeah. But I think what was interesting was obviously just doing something like this, which is different. Yeah. I was really excited because, I mean, I was joking around. Please take this with a grain of salt. But I was saying it's very rare that I get to use my powers for good instead of evil.
Definitely take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Obviously, all the weddings are good. But sometimes our industry is, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot of money that people spend on these things. It's a lot of all for the show and for the Instagram. And like, you know, it kind of makes you think about like, why do you have weddings in the first place? And got me really in my feels about like, this was so important to her. Like, as not that she's dying soon, but like as something in the end of her life, like to renew her vows, to have a celebration, to have a party for her friends and family. Like that is why we all have weddings in the first place, right? So
it's to make those memories with everybody, not just yourself.
It was a rare emotional moment for Kyle and Allie to look at each other and be like,
I can't listen to them anymore.
I know. Yeah. Justin, the groom, was so emotional. Like to the point where it kind of almost looked like he was shutting down. Like he wasn't having a good time.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know how people just
It was like a realization almost. And I'm sure that he's been living in that on the daily now with her. But I think just having a celebration together with her is just like...
And what a crazy thing to be like, we did this 30 years ago. You know, we had this wedding. Now we're in such a different place in life. We have these 3 grown ass women, adult, gorgeous daughters. You know, we've been through the sickness and in health thing.
It's a thing.
Is a real thing. And they have proven more than anyone I've seen that like you can celebrate it and you can do it. And like to stand by someone when they're going through such hard times. Fuck. Yeah.
100%.
So it was really special to be a part of. Cheers to
thanks
them.
For
Cheers to Jen and Justin and the Wish Upon a Wedding program.
Thanks for having us, guys.
But yeah, I mean, I think what are your like, what's your takeaway on like why they did it, why we have weddings, you know, like what did it make you think about?
I feel like you can get so caught up on the clout of having a wedding.
Yeah. Especially these days.
I have to have the biggest wedding. I have to have the best dress, the best florals, the best venue, the best photographer, like all of these best things. But it's like, okay, what are you getting married for? Are you getting married so that you can post some really cool pictures?
Yeah.
Brag to friends and family, or are you there to make experiences for your guests and make memories for yourself?
Yeah.
So I think having the experience that we had yesterday was just like, it didn't matter who was quote unquote the best. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't about the vendors. It was only about who's there and what are you celebrating?
Yeah.
So as much as we've said fucking elope, obviously we still want you to hire and have weddings. Obviously most people enjoy having a wedding.
Yeah.
But I do think it's just remember like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And what are you celebrating?
Yeah.
And if you get married and you say, I do, it's been a success.
Right.
You know, I tell couples that on new weddings, not even vow renewals. So just like, hey, just remember, like, we're here for you, and you are here to just celebrate this moment with your significant other and anyone that you've invited is here today with you.
Yeah.
That's it, you know? So I think it was just like, okay, remember the purpose of the wedding.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah, like, why are you doing it?
I think it was interesting for me because I was thinking about a vow renewal in general. And especially under these circumstances, you know, more emotional and a little different, but just kind of made me think about it. Like, why would somebody do that? And it kind of like, why would you get married in the first place? Why do you feel the need to speak these vows publicly in front of friends and family, right? You are celebrating your love, but you're also like declaring these promises in public for a reason. Like you want to validate, to make, really,
Make it known.
show the importance
Yeah.
of what you are promising.
Yeah.
And for sure, that's not what everybody gets married for.
No.
But thinking about a vow renewal specifically, it just kind of really brings you back to that, is like, you could just have a fucking party.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say these vows again out loud to you and to everyone else that we know. And that was interesting to me to think about the vows, right?
Yeah.
And because the last couple of months I had this event coming up in my mind, I've been listening a lot closer to people's vows at weddings. I mean, I listen to people's ceremonies, obviously, but I'm also the planner.
like,
I'm fucking running around like while the ceremony is going on, like full transparency. I'm making sure cocktail hour is ready. I'm queuing the bar staff to be, there's a lot going on. And so I was like really trying to be more present and listening.
Yep.
And there were like a few vows that I found really special over the last few months that I've been listening closer. One was at another wedding, and they were saying how, like, I vow to fill your cup as much as I can so that you can be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
And I thought that that was really cool. It was like purely about like letting you be you. Like, I want to support you so that you, like, the reason I fucking fell in love with you, right?
Yes.
It's not about like supporting me or even a partnership.
I just want to enjoy life with you.
Yeah. And it's not even about like, it wasn't even about the partnership. It was like, I want to do what I can to make sure that you are the best version of yourself. And like, God, what a cool thing that is to think about. Like, if everyone really tried to do that for the other person, we'd probably have a lot more successful marriages. But we are all, kind of egotistical.
We're imperfect.
And imperfect humans, and that's okay too. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And them, they kind of did the traditional vows yesterday, the, in sickness and in health type of things, which was also emotional and special.
Like, as bland as that, sounds, it's just like, whoa. Yeah, in sickness and in health. Like, you got to remember that. So,
and are you ready to put your fucking money where your mouth is when shit really hits the fan? Because more than likely it will in some way, shape, or form. And the enrichness or in poorer.
For richer or poor.
In richness or in poorness.
I was like, poor. That's not it. That's definitely not
We're clearly
it.
wedding professionals.
Yes. Yeah. We pay attention. We pay attention very well during the vows.
Yeah.
I would say one vow that I heard that I really liked, and maybe it was copped from a movie line or something, but I also remember it of something along the lines of, if you're sitting in the dark, then I'll sit in the dark with you. And it was like, oh shoot, like, it's not gonna always be the sunshine and rainbows and happy times. Or I think Justin even said it yesterday, of like, he was talking about how his view was that he heard God say something to him about like, it's easy to love your wife when she's healthy.
When she's healthy, yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like, and I'm not religious, but like, I was like, the perspective though of being able to see like, oh, it is so easy to.
It's easy to love anybody when they're their best.
It's easy to love my damn kids when they're listening to me, but when they're not,
you want to pump those little fuckers like footballs, right?
Grandma,
outside.
come get them, please.
Exactly.
It's time to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that sitting in the dark, because also that to me says like, I'm not going to try to pull you out of the dark when you're in the dark. I'll just sit right there with you. Oh, that actually makes me like very emotional to think about. Yeah, I'm not here just to try to get you to be something better to serve me. Like, maybe I need to serve you in this moment.
Yeah.
So.
It was a good day. It was a very difficult, but a very good day yesterday.
It was very difficult and just gave a lot of perspective. And it totally took me like until today to really process it. Like, I felt very like, you could probably tell I was like a little stressed yesterday, like because it wasn't our normal
environment.
Yeah,
like the emotional energy was very different from the average wedding.
It felt a little uncomfortable for someone like me, who's like very high energy and
positive, and let's keep going. Yeah.
And let's be honest, when we're throwing a wedding for a 26-year-old couple that daddy and mommy are paying for everything, and it's
things going real well.
Everything feels like a little dream. It's optimism, it's hope, it's joy and all of these things. And yesterday's celebration was the other side of marriage, which is the real shit. And just definitely makes you reflective on everything. Yeah.
But it was good. So just remember, weddings. Why are you having it?
Why are you doing it?
Why are you doing it? And if you're doing it for some wrong reasons, you probably shouldn't get married yet.
Yeah. And so Jen, our bride, has this like saying. It's literally like written on the back of her Jeep, and we had it like in the signage reflected in the wedding. But she said basically, life's too short to get stuck in a gray moment. Like, live your life with color. So she's covered in colorful tattoos. Her hair is like
tattoos.
Rainbow, like so dope.
Yep.
And that is what she's kind of chosen as her like Cancer mantra, is like, I will live my life with color.
Yeah.
So we did, like with the wedding, we made everything was like rainbow colors essentially, and made everything really bright. Again,
I remember her tattoo. She had, it was her bouquet from her first wedding. She had tattooed on her arm.
A full sleeve of her wedding bouquet.
Basically got like a pretty almost matching one.
Yeah, that was the one, like that was our throwback to their OG wedding, was we made the same bouquet, which is funny because it's like, if you looked at it, you'd be like, what is that bouquet? It's like very 90s. Like,
but once you saw it with the collection of like the design
of
everything in the reception, her tattoos,
not what you see on Pinterest these days though. So it was kind of funny, but it was that was really special to her because obviously her wedding is special enough that she had her bouquet tattooed on her arm. So the fact that we were able to like do that for her was really cool. So we tried to have some kind of like little throwback moments,
some connections. Oh, and they also had the vinyl. Was it his gift to her? Her gift to him was
their wedding song.
Yeah, their wedding song. So it was basically like a drawn vinyl record, and it had all the lyrics of the song going in a circle.
So they did. Yeah, they danced to like their same. I think their first dance was a different one, but their processional was the same song.
that was real tough to watch.
Woo,
because the DJ was like, and here's our first dance, and I'm like, not to be morbid, but I was like, this is the last first dance. Like, because you're not gonna do a first dance, or they're probably not gonna have another vow renewal.
Right.
People, if they have one, they only are gonna have one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man. So it's just like being in the moment and just recording. Like, I couldn't like physically move from that spot.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, this needs to just be still. Like
that was what was so different. It was those moments where you were like, ooh, it just takes on like a whole different meaning. So it was cool. I think overall it definitely kind of like reinvigorated my spirit of like why we do this, but also definitely made me take a step back and be like, all this other bullshit is so dumb. And I'm the biggest fan of throwing a party. And if you're throwing a wedding just to throw a goddamn party, that's cool.
Go for it.
I'm not saying
what the goal is. What the goal is. So
I don't think that that's a bad reason to have it. Celebration is wonderful and joy and all of that. But I guess just keeping your priorities in mind, right? And keeping like
if something was wrong with the florals, don't lose your shit about that. You know, like you can still have a great party with, I don't know, one area where the florals wasn't exactly how you envisioned it.
And it really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Literally, I coordinated a wedding on Saturday, and there was like a major mishap with the lighting situation, and the bride let it bummer out for like 30 seconds, which is totally normal.
That's
and
good.
Yeah.
Have your moment.
She was like, this is a bummer. And I'm like, it is a fucking bummer. And I just was like validating her feeling about it, but then also being like, guess what we're not going to do? Let it ruin our fucking day. You know, like we are going to move on. And she was like, you're right. And then it ended up actually like the weird mishap that happened ended up kind of being a blessing in disguise. And later she emailed me and she was like, thank God the lighting got fucked up because this was awesome. So like having that energy and that attitude towards everything that you have in your whole wedding planning process, it's not going to be a dream, just like marriage is not going to be a dream. And that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, 100%. You also just reminded me too of like, also make sure you know who you're hiring, having good vendors that have the experience to be able to like calm you down in those situations, because something's always going to go wrong. I would say like your planner, photographer, videographer, some people that are with you almost the entire day, I would say make sure that they fit the vibe and that you want, and can also like calm you down when shit kind of goes wrong. There's been plenty of times where like, whether if it was the lighting situation, or there's been plenty of times where mother-in-law is upsetting the bride and the bride's like on the verge of tears, of just like, and me being able to be like, hey, it's all good. We're going to figure it out. We're here for you and your significant other. That's who we're here for. We're going to have a good time. Let's play some music. Sure, this situation really fucking sucks, but guess what? we're still going to get married.
We're going to do a thing.
We're going to get married today.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's, very much. I mean, we talk about the importance of hiring the right vendors, but on an emotional level, it's also why like real talk wedding vendors, especially good ones who are really like invested in our clients and like invested in their success and invested in their emotions. It's like a hard fucking job for us. In the industry, we call it a wedding hangover that we have the next day where it's not, we're not actually hungover usually.
Usually.
But you are drained. Like this morning, Kyle and I were both like tired. Like last night we were tired. It was such an emotional day and we are smiling. We are being that person to drag things. You know, we are the one talking you off the ledge.
Exactly.
Like along with all of our physical duties of doing what we have to do, we are that person.
And keep checking in with you too. Like watching your body language of like, oh, like I don't think she wants to take photos right now. Or like, I don't think he's ready to do this right now. We're going to hold this off and then we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
Like we're keeping in mind of what is best for you and what situation is going to put you in the best mood.
Yeah.
Like, let's do that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. A lot of y'all don't have jobs where you have to smile 14 hours in a row.
You just have to smile in front of a client. That's it. Yeah, like we're with you really 8 to 12 hours.
And balancing all the emotions of everybody, like not just the couple, but like you said, their family and like their crazy mother-in-law or the other vendors, the venue manager who's kind of a cunt and like everybody really kind of balancing that. It does. It makes our gigs like a hard line to walk sometimes. Yeah. But it's also why it's so rewarding at the end of the day as well.
100%.
Yeah. Well, it was nice.
That was a good one.
I'm glad we're having champagne today because it's all worth it in the end. And I'm glad we pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, y'all.
Peace.